So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and today I'm going to be talking about the upcoming fight between Teofimo Lopez versus Jermaine Ortiz. Now this fight is for Teofimo's belt. Obviously he is currently the champion in 140-pound division. So pretty much one of the main men in the division as well, after he dethroned obviously Josh Taylor. So yeah, this is going to be for his WBO belt. He is one of 4 champions in the division. The IBF champion is Matias, WBC is Haney, and then the WBA currently, as it stands, is Rolly Romero. So they're the division champions for the 140-pound. Before Teofimo obviously beat Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor was considered to be the main man in the division. He was the undisputed champion. And obviously the main man to beat. There was that controversial fight between Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall, where majority of people thought Jack Catterall won, but obviously didn't get given the decision, and Josh Taylor had that at the time. Teal beat him, which was a brilliant win for Teofimo Lopez, because he was taking a little bit of stick just prior to that Josh Taylor win, because a few performances before that weren't as good. So he had the Camper fight and the Martin, where the performances wasn't great, but he obviously got the decision victory in both of these fights. But bearing in mind, you know what I mean, before he took on obviously Martin and Camper, it was Camper first. He obviously lost to George Kambosos Jr. That was back in 2021. So he was technically coming off a loss. Teofimo Lopez. So obviously, he kind of, I guess he had that on his mind, and obviously he was moving up to a different division as well. So obviously he has to kind of adjust. And it's pretty good because obviously he's now had 3 fights in the 140-pound division. So it's giving him time, and it's giving his body time to like adjust to the weight, and to just get familiar with, you know what I mean, the guy, like the fight, different fighters' power at that weight, size, and all that sort of stuff. So it's quite good, obviously, that he had those fights. And now, obviously, he's taking on a Jermaine Ortiz. Now, with Jermaine Ortiz, he's got a record of 17-1-1, so he's got 8 KOs to his name. That one loss came back in, when was it, 2022? It was against Vasily Lomachenko, and I thought it was a decent performance from Jermaine Ortiz, because I actually watched that at the time, and I thought, yeah, he looked quite sharp, pretty decent as well with his jab, but obviously Lomachenko is different gravy, you know what I mean, is just brilliant, to be fair, and obviously he managed to get that victory. And at the time, obviously, when Lomachenko obviously faced Jermaine, it was pretty much his first fight back. Obviously you've got that war going on between Russia, Ukraine, so it was his first fight. Obviously he was helping out on the front line and that. So yeah, it was a good performance in a weird way from a Lomachenko. Not his best performance, but a good performance considering everything that was going on in his life. But anyway, let's get back to this fight between Teo versus Jermaine Ortiz. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a good, probably stay ready, keep me ready sort of active fight. I don't feel as if it's going to be one of these fights where Teofimo should, you know what I mean, I don't know, get stuck. That's probably the best word I could think of right now, because it should be a straightforward victory. However, this is boxing. If he doesn't turn up, Jermaine Ortiz could obviously pull it on him and stick it on him, and who knows? I'm not saying he's going to knock out, he could knock out Teofimo, but I'm saying that he's got the skills to potentially win this fight on points, Jermaine Ortiz, if Teofimo doesn't turn up. So that's where I pretty much consider this fight. But I consider Teofimo clear favourite. I feel as if he's going to win. I think if he turns up and it's a Teo that we know, then I feel as if he should potentially stop his man, maybe late on in the fight. But if it's a Teo where he's not as good, or he's not as sharp, or he's not as focused, then this will probably go to points, and then it's quite tricky then, because you're leaving it in the hands of the judges. But I will certainly be watching it. And it's good to see TL back, and I hope he could potentially be quite active this year. He had the one fight last year, and two fights back in 2022. So it'd be good to see him maybe fight two, maybe three times, depending, give or take, because there is talk about him versus Haney. As I mentioned earlier, Haney is one of the champions in the division, and I feel as if it should be quite a straightforward fight to make between the pair, and obviously that would be the fight to see who is the main man in the division as well, so that'd be quite interesting. But that's something which we could maybe think about in the future, and if that fight was to be made, then that's probably a Saudi fight, you know what I mean? Let's be real, that fight would be done in Saudi, wouldn't be done in the UK. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in regards to this weekend's matchup between Teofimo Lopez versus Jermaine Ortiz. Are you like me? Do you feel that Teofimo's going to win, probably late stoppage? Or do you feel as if this fight's going to go to points? And do you feel as if it's going to be a good performance from Teofimo Lopez? As always, guys, leave me your thoughts in the comments below. Bless.